As I'm looking up, I just see these three lights in like a triangular formation. It just moves without, any sound or anything. Then it stops for 10 seconds or so, and then just raises up into the clouds and then just disappears.
I don't know if I believe that one. I'm a believer of aliens, but I mean, really, dude? I don't know.
What is your opinion about aliens?
They're real.
We have an entire galaxy just of so many different planets and
Right, okay. This is my thing. If you've ever played the game No Man's Sky, that's a perfect example of going through these, dots everywhere. You can go to every single one of those, and in every single one of those is a fucking ton of planets. How in infinite, just you can go until you're a fucking skeleton, until you die, and there's still planets to explore. How's there not a single alien out there?
stars.
The odds of us being alone in the universe are almost non-existent.
Do you think
Exactly.
humans have made contact with aliens already?
I don't think the evidence shows that.
I've had my own experience.
When you tell this
Dude,
experience,
I
to
can't. It's
people,
like a
do
telltale
they
game. I can't wait to
typically
get mad
believe
at some.
Yeah, for the
Skeptics.
most part.
I have encountered aliens. It's not like in person, like they're hanging out, like they're not dense like we are.
We're talking about minimum of thousands, if not millions or billions of light years away. So the odds that they have visited us is pretty astronomical that they probably didn't and may not visit us for millions of years.
I think it's pretty exciting, unless you're one of those people that's getting visited at 3 in the morning alone in your bedroom and getting walked out to some craft for sexual experimentation.
What?
Sexual experimentation.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I have a blog.
Dude, this guy doesn't want to be here at all. Like, why did he say, okay, I'll do this? He looks like he hates his life.
Hi, I'm Lauren. I have a blog called starseedhotspot.com. I'm someone who would identify as a starseed and have had a lot of different spiritual and paranormal experiences.
Hi, my name's Linet. I'm an
Who would identify as a starseed and have had a lot of different
Hi, my name's Linet. I'm an actress, and I'm spiritually aware of myself. And
I've
believe
never
that,
seen you in a
aliens are
movie,
real.
so.
I'm Dominic I am actually a mental health therapist and a influencer, but I've been in love with science since I was a kid, published by NASA, and I pretty much am an amateur astronomer.
Spencer Marks, the author
Wait.
of the sci-fi book Living History.
And a influencer, but I've been in love with science since I was a kid, published by NASA, and I pretty much am an amateur astronomer.
Spencer Marks.
What? Bro, how can you say all that and say the aliens aren't real? Oh, do aliens exist on Earth, dude? I'm sorry.
It was about 10 years ago, just right before I graduated high school, and as I'm looking up, I just see these three lights in like a triangular formation. There was no body to it, just the three lights. And they were like flickering, almost like on fire or something like that. I look at my buddy and I say, are you seeing this? And he sees it, and yeah, it just moves without any sound or anything, just quiet for about a minute. Then it stops for 10 seconds or so, and then just raises up into the clouds and then just disappears. Well, this is 10 years ago, so it's like
I'm sorry,
drones
dude.
weren't really
I
a
can't
big
believe
thing,
that.
I've never
There's
seen
no
a
way.
plane that could hover, or at least hover and then not make a bunch of noise. So it's a
I don't even think he believes himself. You hear how much he's clearing his throat all of a
So
sudden?
for me, as someone who is a clairvoyant, I'll see like dimensional like overlapping of things.
Okay,
especially
dude. You just compare yourself to these fucking
Drummer,
words
I do.
with every sentence, then you just need to leave.
Me, as an amateur astronomer, I do see UFOs, but to clarify that, UFO stands for unidentified flying object. So for me, yes, I do see things that I don't know what they are, but my immediate conclusion isn't aliens or intelligent life. My immediate conclusion is, what can I scientifically understand? You know, we thought thunder was gods, and now we would easily explain it to not being gods. People will get confused. They assimilate, or they, make UFO and aliens, one, and I'm like, that's not the same thing.
That's a good point.
Let's bring in our disagreeers.
It would be disingenuous to say I've ever seen one firsthand, but because of what I do, I've had plumbers come to the house. You're like, oh, what do you do? I host a conspiracy podcast. Well, let me tell you something. My uncle is a pilot, and he would never tell his superiors this. But
This
he's
guy's
seen
fucking
this and this.
podcast, dude.
And even the U.S. Navy has released footage of UFOs and said, yeah, these crafts are real, and we don't know what they are. Just a couple of years ago, it was in the New York Times.
Certainly, I've looked up and said, oh, I don't know what that is, but I never once assumed that to be an alien spacecraft. I actually am also a private pilot, so I know how to identify aircraft visually from the lighting
And
pattern.
okay.
I'm also an amateur astronomer. And,
What is
and,
happening? Pause it. Excuse me. Okay, look at it this way too, dude. Like if you look up there and you're like, whoa, this fucking thing, like like a UFO would, or you would assume would, and it's like these three lights, and it's just like moves or like super stable. Just think that means there are people or whatever creatures out there that are smarter than us to build a spacecraft like that, to be able to move that stable and fast and just travel everywhere. That's how I see it.
I looked up 1,000 times through a telescope, and you can see some people might think that object moved so fast, it was bright, and was that a UFO? Well, I know it's a satellite, so I'm not worried about those things.
There's a lot of people who say, I've seen aliens, I've seen UFOs. It's interesting that the aliens have headlights.
Yeah.
You don't want to crash in the ground.
I think that we don't even need those now. I mean, we can use the technology. So it's interesting that we always use human-like objects
Exactly.
to
There isn't
explain
like
aliens.
a catch-all, you know what I mean? Because it's like you said, oh, they have headlights. Well, maybe they have lights, but maybe it's not so they can see. There could be a different purpose for it, you know what I mean? I'm not one to be a fibber, It's like, if I believe in something,
That's tough, man. I already know that if people do see this and actually care to comment, I'm digging myself into a huge hole if I'm pissing anybody off.
Aliens live among us today.
This galaxy, this universe is so vast and wide. To believe that they aren't here now is kind of dumb, in my opinion.
Some kind of multi-dimensional thing. I mean, someone's flying all those crafts that people see out there.
Right.
I've never seen any that I know of, but I have interviewed a lot of researchers who have heard from people within the government, within the Department of Defense.
But that's the thing, man. Like, it's so fucking hard to believe people. Because there's so many people out there that just want attention for no reason at all. They just want attention. And they want to be the one that has seen the alien spacecraft that no one else saw, so they can have a huge story.
That have said that they are pretty confident that that's a reality, and that the black budget goes to trying to keep some kind of tabs on this activity.
I have read some stuff about people being abducted into government facilities, Area 51.
What, do you specify or yourself, whatever, as an abducted person from space or whatever?
And things like that. If we're talking about the traditional sense of an alien, they work with our government, they keep this matrix operating, and as someone who identifies as a starseed, I mean, technically I'm an alien that incarnated here.
What?
I just find the notion pretty far-fetched. I mean, why the secrecy? If they want to learn from us, if we want to learn about them,
that's a good
why
point.
wouldn't they just step forward and say, here we are?
I think we all obviously believe aliens do exist here, or statistically, which is fine, but to say that they traveled here is another thing, because with the Roswell crash, very, very unlikely to see someone be able to do that 10,000 years, cross the entire universe, and then crash immediately when we get here.
Well, hold on. What was that? On July 8th, 1947, a flying disc crashed near Roswell, New Mexico. The U.S. military stated that it was merely a conventional weather balloon.
someone be able to do that 10,000 years, cross the entire universe, and then crash immediately when we get here.
Well, plus you look at the debris. I mean, they have pictures of the debris. It's like literally balsa wood and, mylars.
Pictures they showed you of the debris.
But the point is, there's not enough
Okay,
physical.
dude, this guy's-
If you're in a spaceship, it's not going to be 3 pounds of debris.
I've read a lot of books about the chain of custody of that material. There's thousands of people who've had experiences. There's dozens and dozens of crash stories that are beyond Roswell.
Do you think that the person writing the book has an incentive financially to write a book?
Yes, but is a doctor less good because he makes money being a doctor? Aliens is kind of a loaded term. I mean, I think of non-human intelligences, which could be things people experience on psychedelics. I woke up one day a complete material atheist. Some friends convinced me to try Salvia divinorum, and then it was kind of like an instantaneous, there was a male and female, and one was more cynical about the fact.
Dude, that's why this guy's seeing aliens and shit, because he's on Salvia 24/7. Dude, I hate when channels do this. I can't read this shit and listen to him at the same time and understand both.
Crafts flying over and they're shooting our nuclear facilities with some kind of beam and disabling them. I mean, that's a fairly credible source.
Right. Well, look, anecdotal evidence is some evidence, but it's not strong evidence.
Well, look, you're an idiot. You're false. I'm true. What am I saying?
You're saying that something you take is going to create an external difference. We can't look at that as evidence any more than we can, I dreamt
It
something.
widens perceptions of consciousness.
But that's from your brain.
But that's like a hallucination.
Right.
That's not really expanding consciousness. Like you're talking about like hallucinating.
Well,
Well, you said this guy's getting heated both, like, metaphorically speaking and
But
literally.
that's from your brain.
But that's like a hallucination.
Look,
That's
look,
not
look.
really expanding consciousness. Like you're talking about like hallucination.
He's like, God, it's hot in here. And at the same time, oh, this guy's fucking pissing me off.
But that's reality based on your perception.
No, it's not a perception.
It is. Everything is
Science good at-
perception.
Science is good at things.
No, let him get heated, man.
And so it's interesting because I work with a lot of Muslims. They're saying,
Guy looks like a
I've
mop.
spoken to my, and that's why science, we would never say there aren't aliens or are aliens. You're saying aliens, if there was a crash, we would say there could be, but we don't know.
Fair.
And right now it's leaning this way. So misinformation is different.
Okay.
It's more just about kind of like hard-headedness on that.
It's fair.
I think it's more close-mindedness to say, yours whole kind of organization is not to be malicious in debunking things, but that is your goal, is to disprove something.
No, that's not at all. That's absolutely not true.
Well,
No. Our organization looks at evidence for things, and we ask,
is to
This guy right here, he's like, okay. Now look, you better be fucking telling me something, dude. Like he
disprove
triple
something.
checks
no, that's not at
his
all.
glance.
It's
Look at this.
absolutely not true.
Well,
One,
Our organization
two,
looks at evidence for things, and we ask others. They have a claim of a paranormal activity. Great, show it to us. Show us the evidence. We don't do anything to debunk them. We
I feel
simply
like that's really limiting, though.
No,
that's
but-
the thing.
but the point is,
with
that's not limiting.
misinformation, I
It's-
just feel like it's just.
Okay, I will say this guy out of the whole group is being the most arrogant one, because all of them are at least going, oh, okay, that's a fair point, But this guy is like, basically, if I was there.
We're just saying we don't know, and to jump to
But
conclusions.
You're
jumping
also
to
discounting-
conclusion
Let's
is kind
reset.
of far-fetched.
We've kind of exploded, but this was good.
You
That's the
asked
good
for
stuff.
this.
Exactly, dude. Let him fucking talk, man.
The Area 51 raid was a bad idea.
Dude, I know nothing about Area 51, so I can't. I'm staying out of this one.
I believe humans were created by a higher power.
Okay. This right here. I can't. I gotta be careful what I say here to put it on record.
I grew up as a Catholic, and to now, I've transitioned to being a Christian and all of that. So I do believe in God. I do
Christian
believe that He
and all
created
of
us,
that.
And I also believe He created everything else.
A higher power is very vague and leaves a very open variety of. It's just I don't know what I believe, like how we were created.
We're pretty sure that doesn't happen. I mean, many, many generations of Jews have been circumcising their babies, and yet every baby has been born with a foreskin after that. So it's sort of not something you can force.
This guy.
But when we talked about higher power, I don't.
And you bring up penises and foreskin. This guy, it's like he just got a new console for Christmas.
We're pretty sure that doesn't happen. I mean, many, many the foreskin after that. So it's sort of not something you can force. Okay.
But when we talked about.
Thanks, guys.
Yeah, thank you.
That's good.
Yeah.
It's great meeting all of you.
You too.
Wonderful.
Oh, nice.
Wow, that was a trip.
So you asked them not to shake their hands, but you didn't care that they were sitting 2 feet apart talking into each other's faces. I mean, at that point, shaking hands doesn't even fucking matter. But anyway, that was Do Aliens Exist on Earth? Which I misinterpreted the first, 10 minutes of the video, But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, click like and subscribe. And I don't know why I'm doing this gesture. I guess that's like and subscribe. And yeah, I will see you guys for the next reaction. Apex Legends. I don't know, that was creepy. I'm just gonna see you guys later.